It's all part of the excitement that we've generated this weekend. It's a happening. It's one of those things that only happens now and again, and we certainly hope it happens this time next year. But the interest in this race from all of the motoring people, all the crowds in Wellington, enormous stands here. A lot of people come to watch this inaugural race, and yes, there has been a few teething problems, but it hasn't detracted from one hell of a race.
I would like next.
Well, we think that he's actually caught back about 10 seconds in that incident, so on our watches we would say approximately 20 seconds the difference on that at this point. We'll put a watch on that. And here's the replay on that.
Yes, John Morton got caught out there.
Just got too tight. Well, actually that made contact with the other car, which we didn't see.
Which was Dave McMillan, and I wouldn't be surprised if he hasn't gone through the into the building and had an accident. So the two cars appeared to touch that, and Dave McMillan would have had a tremendous fight. His car was tipped onto his side.
Well, this is the sort of excitement we look for in endurance races, but we don't ever get it. This is fantastic stuff right at the end, or dying stage of the street race.
We're in the same situation we were 3/4 of an hour ago, whereby Robbie Finišević we thought was 20 seconds behind. 20 seconds behind, and here we are again, approximately 20 seconds behind.
Final result, John Morton is going to look back at a couple of spins that were unnecessary and say that cost $20,000.
Yes, wow, it's absolutely, you couldn't choreography a race to be like this, or any race meeting. From the pessimism that existed a few months ago to the optimism now, it is fantastic.
Robbie Francevic with the job in front of him, catching by over a second a lap, and he's got to catch 15 laps. Got to catch in over a second a lap for 15 laps.
And he can do it. And Robbie, we see him, he's all fired up. It explains, Tony, why he was using so much of the road before, and Robbie's still using a lot of the road. I just hope that neither makes a mistake.
We're waiting now to get another gap between the two. David Oxton has a watch on them.
Robbie's using all the road.
13.6 seconds, so that is in fact 3 seconds or 2.5 seconds of Robbie's pullback in that lap.
Well, it's possible.
An enormous amount. John Morton being slowed slightly by the traffic, but really it's within Robbie Francevic's grasp now on lap 139. 10 laps to go in the race. It's certainly within Robbie Francevic's grasp.
This is fantastic. I mean, what can you say? Nearly 4 hours of motoring, and people are sitting on the edges of their seat in absolute excitement. There's people standing in the stands. I mean, this is amazing. Come on, street racing. That's all I can say.
Robbie Francevic still pushing this turbo Volvo, really pushing it. One thing they said yesterday in practice was that you could push it as hard as you like for as long as you like. They don't blow up, they don't break. And I'm sure John Morton will be feeling him breathing down his neck in just a few moments.
The pressure on John Morton is going to be horrific. And
at this point, it's 3 hours 37 minutes, so that's 23 minutes to go. Approximately 12 laps to go in our estimation. The lap times that count, car number 11, Robbie Francevic, 1:31.9. He's still applying the pressure. And the car 6, 1:37. So John Morton easing back while still trying to preserve his lead, but still pressing on. Fastest of the BMWs on the circuit at the moment. 5.7 seconds the difference.
John Morton, unfortunately, he's had 2 spins which would have given him a bit of a fright, and that I think would be fixing his lap times. And Robbie Finišević, whose car is handling superbly, has got his adrenaline up and closing in at an enormous rate.
They're in the same straight now. John Morton at the end of it. There's Robbie Francevic. John Morton just rounded the turn. Robbie Francevic, 1 car back. That's the gap now for first place. John Morton desperately hanging on, but he must know in the back of his mind that he cannot circulate fast enough to hold that lead.
The worst thing in John Morton's mind, he won't want to have another spin. He's already had 2. He won't want another one.
Volvo's got past Alan Wolf, so there's no cars between him on the road now, so it's clear road.
There is Robbie Francevic. John Morton just going through underneath.
John Morton won't like this, being passed by Robbie Finišević, his ex-teammate, twice within the space of about 1 hour. It's really a bit demoralising.
Well, they both know each other's driving skills very, very well. They both know each other's methods very well, but they're both in totally different cars to the one they're accustomed to being in. There's John Morton in the same picture now. Robbie Francevic closing right up. Will he do it now? Will he wait till the last lap? Knowing Robbie Francevic, you want to do it as quick as possible.
Robbie Francevic has poked the left front guard into something in his attempts to get up to John Morton. We can see the left front guard is now flapping. The Volvo's looking a bit like a battered Volvo truck, but it's got the speed to catch the leader. And so close now.
Past the start-finish line goes John Morton and Robbie Francevic. It's only about a second and a half between them. In the next couple of laps, they've still got 5 or 6 in hand. After that, Robbie Francevic is going to be through. There's the challenge, close enough now to do something about it. John Morton knows, apart from the pit signals he's had for the last 5 or 6 laps, he can see him in the rear vision mirror. The rear vision mirror will be filled with a big fat red brick. Robbie Francevic closing right in for the kill. Here he comes, having a go in this straight. John Morton can't hold him out. Francevic's passed, that's the lead. Robbie Francevic leads the Nissan Sport 500. In the dying moments of the race, 141 laps completed, the Volvo in front.
From the back of the grid to the leading the race for the second time, a wonderful achievement. I mean, this is storybook. Flown here at the last minute and in the lead now. This is unreal.
Well, I think John Morton has given away the battle just a little. It must be a hopeless task, having been passed by a car that you know is so much faster around the circuit. This Volvo has been the real surprise. This is how he got past. Just pulling out from behind and enough horsepower, enough grunt in a straight line to go straight past. John Morton being passed into second place. New Zealanders first and second at the moment.
Well, with all that excitement, let's not forget Neville Crichton and a brake hostage or something. But here's number place 3 on your race. Neville Crichton, the black JPS BMW.
So the order at this stage, with 142 of the 150 laps completed. Robbie Francevic has overtaken John Morton, so Robbie Francevic in the Volvo lead, 142 laps. John Morton in the BMW second, 141 laps. Neville Crichton in another BMW in third place. In fourth place is Larry Perkins in the VK Commodore. In fifth place is Paul Adams with the drive of the race, to my mind, considering he's in the 1600cc class, 5th overall. So less than 8 laps remaining.
The Volvo's wearing some battle scars. It's got race tape holding the right front guard together, and the left front guard is flapping around. We know that it's had gallons of water poured into it, but what a performance by this car. As Reg has told us, arrived very late. No one expected it to really perform. It was going to be too late, too rushed, but what an effort.
Well, I wonder, even without the couple of spins that John Morton had, I still think Robbie Francevic would have caught him the way he's driving because of the differential in these cars.
I'm not sure, Tony. Those spins also cost John Morton his confidence, because we've seen 2 on camera. He may have had another couple of others, and they affected his confidence. So I really think that if he hadn't had his confidence knocked out of him, it might have had a different result here. But still, we've got another 7 laps to go, and a lot of things have happened in this race already.
We see the man with the checkered flag. He's at the start-finish line in preparation for the closure of the race, but we'll watch that flag position. We're working on a time basis, not a laps basis. So when the starter and finisher in this case, when the finish man decides that the time is up, he drops the flag. So we have to be guided by him.
They're waiting for the flag to come out at any moment as Michel Delcourt stands in the pits, looking very, very nervous as to whether or not this car is going to hold up. He need have no fear about the driving ability of Robbie Francevic, as he's shown us he can go out there and equal Michel Delcourt's excellent lap time. There's just a little bit of nail biting now as it comes to the closing stages. Will the car stay together till the end of the race?
Well, the Wellington Nissan Sport 500 race has been sensational from one end to the other, and we're going to have another chance to see this car at Pukekohe next weekend. So it'll be interesting to how quick this Volvo is going to go without all the troublesome pit stops that it had early on, which cost a lot of time. So to the people at Auckland who want to see the car, then they know where to go next weekend.
On the basis of normal scheduled pit stops, this Volvo would have won by something like 11 minutes.
Yes, and Mark Petch will be glad that he ended up, that he's the owner of this car, and he can be racing at New Zealand in future Group A races. So to the General Motor Race Republic, only seen...
This race has been a credit to the idea born by two men, Ian Gamble and Kerry Powell. Two people who've worked with an army of enthusiasts to bring this race to the street. They've fought hell and high water. They've had to beat negative people who put it down as it will never happen. They've actually made it happen. They've worked with the motor racing people, the motorsport authorities, to make sure that the best people they could get would be in this country. They've worked with the city councils and the harbour boards and the scaffolding erectors, the safety people, crane drivers, thousands of people to bring this race, and it must be a vindication to their idea. Tremendous performance by two men who brought it to New Zealand.
The flag marshal standing down at the start-finish line with a flag still not yet unfurled, but not far away from a finish. They've completed 145 laps, and Robbie Francevic really waltzing away now. We'll get a check on his lap times to see if he's eased off the pace. We would expect him to have eased off the pace. He knew the car was the quickest on the track, and he got to the lead. He doesn't really need to drive it hard or take any risks.
Here's Jaguars, all the other cars, and I'm glad that we've got a different here today, and people will be re-evaluating what they do next year.
Of course, the circuit to some extent has suited the Volvo.
Well, by our watches, we have 10 minutes to go. Now, obviously, that's really in the hands of the race organisers, but 10 minutes to go would give another 5 or 6 laps at least. So we'll just keep an eye on the man with the checkered flag and wait for him to make a shuffle towards the track, and then we'll know. But as near as we can ascertain, 10 minutes to go.
The interesting thing about this Volvo, it is a turbo car, and everybody's always said that turbo cars were unreliable. But here you have a turbo car being run under Group A regulations, which means you can't run very high boost, and so your turbo is reliable, and not like Formula 1 motor racing that we see on television, or even in Bathurst motor racing, Group C's. So here we have the Group A turbos being exceptionally reliable, and I would think that future Group A cars that are turbo, the reliability will also be there.
With the checkered flag, so we presume he just doesn't want to be late, but he's awaiting instructions from the official man with the watch. He's got a finger out saying it's 1 lap to go to Robbie Francevic.
And so credit to John Morton too, he hasn't made anything, he's kept the car going.
4 seconds the difference between the two cars, 1 lap to go. Let's follow this lap now with Robbie Francevic, and there in your picture, John Morton.
John Morton picking up because Robbie Francevic has had to slow with that bonnet flapping in the front. He's done enough before that happened to stay away far enough. On the last lap now, the man with the checkered flag.
That gap's getting close. It's closing.
$20,000 to win this race, $11,000 for second place, and look at this gap. After 4 hours of racing, it's come down to this.
They're getting very, very close.
Robbie Francevic just hanging on. Can he hang on for long enough, though? John Morton closing back up on him. Look at how much Robbie Francevic has had to slacken off. John Morton has sensed it. He's trying to close that gap. Coming down this time for the checkered flag. Half a lap to go. I wonder if he can stay in front. John Morton has sensed it, I can tell by the way he's closing up. He's seen that there is a chance there. Half a lap left now. Robbie Francevic can just hold him off, I think, around as they approach the bridge. Coming over the bridge for the last time. The checkered flag is ready to be waved. John Morton flying behind him. I know in the last lap or so he sensed that Robbie has slowed so much it's coming down to a sprint down to the start-finish line. Robbie Francevic will keep his foot right in it. Coming down to the checkered flag now. Robbie Francevic wins in the Volvo. John Morton closing very fast in second.